So, my favourites. I can go into more detail in other videos, but I thought I would just write down my favourite Formula One driver, car, team, season, race, and circuit. Let's dive in. My favourite driver is, unsurprisingly to many, Nigel Mansell. What a terror he was on the track. What an extremely good driver. Underrated in my view. Won the championship once, could have easily won it 4 times. In 86, 87, 91 and 92, but he only won it in 92. He was runner-up in the other 3 years, but could so easily have won it. Now is that in focus? Just bear with me. Yeah, it's in focus. Yeah, so he could so easily have won numerous championships. He's my favourite driver. Now my favourite car, I would say, is the Ferrari 643 from 1991. Wow, what a car that was. What an incredible car that was. Driven by Alain Prost and Jean Alesi. It wasn't a title contender. It's the Williams and McLaren were facing off for the championship, specifically with Mansell in the Williams and Senna in the McLaren, which Senna came out on top, mainly due to Mansell's horrific unreliability, or I should say horrific reliability. His unreliability was very good. Yeah, the Ferrari 643 is, oh man, that's such an attractive car. It's got these matte black sections down the side of the car. God dear, it's a real dark, deep red. It's smooth all over, no knobbly bits. It's just a fantastic car. It took part in the last 10 races in 1991, and that was all it did. It did not take part in the whole season. The 642 did the first 6 races, and then the 643 did the rest. I don't think it won any races, but it was those 10 races that it took part in. What a car. Beautiful. Really nice car to look at. That's what makes it my favourite, just the looks, basically. And its noisy V12 engine. Ferrari held onto the V12 longer than anybody, and everybody else went to the V10s. Ferrari held onto the V12s. 7-speed semi-automatic gearbox. Oh, it's a lovely car. Favourite team, I'm going to go with Williams. Now, when I say Williams, I specifically mean the years 1985 to 87. Oh dear. Yeah, just put 87. Okay. Being a Mansell fan, obviously I was heavily focused on the Williams and its battles with principally McLaren, but also Ferrari to a certain extent, mainly McLaren. But 85, 86, 87, so you had Mansell and Rosberg in 85, Mansell and Piquet, of course, in 86 and 87. The great rivalry between those two drivers, Nigel Mansell and Nelson Piquet, who did not like each other at all. Yeah. Anyway, I won't comment on who was in the right and who was in the wrong, because it'll just look like I'm using favouritism. But yeah, there's a big rivalry there, and it was great to watch. So that's my favourite team, specifically those 3 years, 85 to 87. So I'm not specifically mentioning a Williams car as such. My favourite season would have to be, it's difficult. I'll put season here with my pen that seems to be running out a little bit. It's a toss-up. I can't decide between 1986 or 2021. Now, you might think that's strange that I picked 2 seasons where the British driver that I was following lost out right at the end of the last race. 1986, Nigel Mansell was heading for championship glory, and then his tyre exploded 16 laps from the end in Australia. And of course, we all know what happened in 2021 with Michael Massey getting involved in a way that he shouldn't have. But I'm not judging the seasons on the last few laps. 2021 was a fantastically exciting season all throughout. It's just a shame how it ended. I don't just mean a shame because I don't mean it was a shame that Verstappen won. I mean it was a shame how Verstappen won. So it was a bad ending, I think, for both drivers. Obviously more so for Lewis though. And of course 86 ended badly for any Nigel Mansell fan. But Alan Prost did well to win that race, that season, that championship, because for most of the year the Williams was the better car. But Prost managed to win the championship by 2 points. But that was a fantastic battle, 86, between 4 drivers: Prost, Mansell, Piquet, Senna in his Lotus. Rosberg had a very lacklustre season. It was his last season in F1. He was in the other McLaren and he was nowhere in the championship really. And of course 2021 was all about 2 drivers. I can't decide between those 2. Favourite race, I'm going to go with Silverstone. Yep, 87. It's got to be, hasn't it? What a race. Mansell and Piquet. Wasn't Piquet on pole, surprisingly. I think Piquet was on pole and he led for the first part of the race. Then Mansell picked up a puncture, forcing him into a one-stopper. Piquet was going through without stopping at all. Back then you didn't have to stop if you didn't want to. And I think there was pretty much just one tyre compound. So if you changed tyres, you just had fresher tyres, which I think is a much simpler way, and much easier to understand than it is now. With all your C1s, 2s, 3s, 4s, 5s and 6s. Back then, I think it was just one tyre. You had a separate tyre compound for qualifying tyre, but for the race there was just one compound for the race. And if you wanted fresher tyres, you just stopped for a new set of those single compound tyres. Mansell did that, came out 30 seconds behind, 30 laps to go, and overtook Piquet on the penultimate lap with that dummy going into Stowe Corner. It's got to be I was not out of that race, but my brother was out of that race. I didn't start going to races till 88. Now my favourite circuit, again, is the Silverstone, but it's the old Silverstone. So I'm going to put old Silverstone, but not old. We're not talking, bales of straw along the side of the road or anything like that. But the old Silverstone from the 80s and sort of early 90s. But before we had all the squiggly Maggotts and Beckett's, which I'm not particularly a fan of. It's great to watch a single car going through, but you're never going to see any overtaking through there. So yes, you'll get to see speed, you'll get to see drivers go quicker than other drivers, but it doesn't help with overtaking, of course. So I prefer the old layout when Stowe was just Stowe and Club was just Club, Abbey was just Abbey, Woodcote was just Woodcote, Copse was just Copse. And that's most of the circuit I've gone through there. Now there's about 100 corners at Silverstone with all the infield section. So I prefer the old Silverstone blasting around on that circuit. So you're going to think this is pretty Mansell heavy. The Williams there, 1986, Silverstone, and then Mansell at the top. But of course I did pick Mansell's year when he didn't win the championship. as a far more enjoyable season than the one where he did win the championship in 1992. So, you know, you can forgive me there. Both of those seasons, a British driver did not win, and in fact lost it towards the end of the last race. And of course I picked my favourite car was a Ferrari, not Mansell's Williams. So there you go. I don't think that would change. I think that's pretty much, they are what my favourites are. And it'll stay like that unless it's overtaken by a future driver, car, team, season, race or circuit. Anyway, thank you. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. If you'd like to subscribe, please do so. Or like the video, or comment on the video, or even leave a tip on the video. And I will see you on the very next video.